Okay, good evening to all of you. Thank you for coming to our visual festival for the School of Safety and Environmental Management. My name is Rosman. I'm going to be the host for today's event, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Uh, so we coming. There's some more coming in, but we still start. We have invited two faculty members, Mr. Dovydas and Mr. Duncan Webb. Mr. Dovydas is in charge of the international business, as well as Mr. Duncan Webb is in charge for the school. Faculty of Clinical Science, in charge of the degree as well as master's safety program. So they both of them will share their LBU settings, setups, as well as Duncan will share the program, how the program, what's the scope of the program, and what's in for us, for MDIS to, better sell off this program for the international market as well as for the local market. Without any further ado, let me hand over this mic to Mr. Dovydas. Mr. Dovydas, you want to introduce yourself and proceed to your presentation? Thank you.
Thank you, Rosman. I'll start sharing my screen, so you should be able to see that now. Right, so yes, my name is Dovydas. Colleagues call me just Dovy. I look after Southeast and East Asia on behalf of Leeds Beckett University International Recruitment and Partnerships team based here in Leeds. Normally, I would be traveling to Singapore twice a year, probably. Obviously, that is not possible at the moment. So I appreciate everyone joining, tuning in via virtual tools. Thank you very much for finding time to do that. What we thought would be a good idea is just to start from introducing you to the university in general, just so you have a better picture how big the institution is, how significant it is to the local economy, what international students been telling about us. So I think the first slide is just to give you an idea where Leeds actually is located, because some people might not heard about this city before. Actually, it's in the middle of the UK or north of England. London is 2 hours away. Manchester is only 40 minutes away. York, one of the most touristy destinations in the country, is only 15 minutes away. So that's where we're based. And I thought I'm going to share some breaking news and really exciting news with you here today that Leeds United, the football club, actually got a promotion last night. It does have a huge fan base around the world, so I thought maybe Singapore has a few fans as well. Okay, so we do hope that the name of the Leeds will come up more often from now on. So it's really, really exciting news for the city and the community. I would like to address the pandemic. Obviously, that is a topic that cannot be avoided in the last few months. So I thought I'll just gonna mention what the role university plays in all this. And I believe that role is quite significant. So for example, the final year nursing students join the National Health Service across the region. So they join the hospitals to help combat the disease. The business school actually offers free online tools for businesses in the region to start recovering. We have the product design students creating face shields in the spare bedrooms for NHS workers. So it really, really makes us proud of the community of this academics and students as well. Very quickly, I would like to kind of introduce you to the university. So our history, actually stretches back almost 200 years. We have two campuses within Leeds, which makes this university quite unique because those two campuses are quite different. The picture on the top, you can see Headingley campus, which is Victorian architecture kind of setup. But the city center would be really modern buildings and modern campus. So we have two campuses within the same city with two very different environments. We do have a diverse community, which is made up of students from 140 countries and territories. Okay. Fantastic student facilities with major investments over the next 6 years. Many courses are accredited by professional bodies, and nearly 94% of all our graduates are in work or further study 6 months after graduation. So that's one of the best scores across the country. We do have nearly 30,000 students on campuses and students doing our degrees overseas. Nearly 2,000 of those students on campus are international students. We have 3,000 members of staff, and you're meeting two of them here today. And Leeds Beckett University contributes 520 million pounds to the city of Leeds economy. Okay, so it's really a key institution in the region. I've collected few pictures from Instagram about Leeds. Can't go without Instagram these days. Just to give you an idea, actually Leeds is the fourth largest city in the UK, so it's a major city. It used to be a really big industrial city, but in last couple of decades, I would say, it has transformed into modern city and even student city. There are actually 4 universities, quite a few colleges here in Leeds, so that creates community of around 100,000 students, all based in the city center. So it's a really nice vibe and atmosphere. Great transportation links for students to travel around the country and reach the Europe. Excellent nightlife when you have so many students, it has to be, and the vast job market as well for part-time jobs. Leeds actually is located in Yorkshire, which is famous for its beautiful countryside. So our student communities would arrange trips to see this beautiful nature as well. I thought I'm going to share you the scope of the programs that we deliver here at Leeds Beckett University. We have 11 academic schools. I'm not going to go through all the courses because they might not be relevant to you, but just to get an idea, we have 340 courses basically here at Leeds Beckett University. We will be focusing on one particular school today, so that's School of Clinical and Applied Sciences, where the programs that Duncan will talk about are delivered. Actually, the research partners of this school include the Ministry of Defense and National Health Service, so 2 major players. The programs that Duncan is going to talk about in a minute are delivered by health and safety practitioners and specialists from a wide range of occupational sector, excellent facilities, high levels of student progression and employment. And of course, close links with employment providers. That is really important. Excellent global reputation, and the courses, both courses are accredited by IOSH. Couple more slides, the investment that I was mentioning to you guys. So this one is the city center brand new addition, creative arts building that opening this year. And here we have a sports teaching and research building opening this year as well. So that's a Headingley campus. We do have a lot of world famous actual athletes training with us, so doing conditioning, like Premier League referees are doing conditioning prior to the season. We have Olympic gold medalists using the facilities. So the Headingley campus has amazing facilities for sports for sure. And I thought you might want to hear a little bit from the students, from international students, what they think about Leeds Beckett and why did they choose to do our degrees. Actually, Jana here, the front student, is from Singapore, but there will be several others as well. So I hope you can hear it. It's only 2 minutes video. Let's try and play that.
The reason why I came to Leeds Beckett University was because I was looking at the courses in the whole of UK and I wanted something that was more practical. I looked at the photos of the university, read a bit about the background, looked at the social media, and it seemed like a good place for me.
Even the quality of tutors, they are already recognized all over the world.
The one thing that I was most anxious about was adapting to the studying, teaching styles in the UK, but I got a lot of help from the skills for learning workshops, and the staff were really friendly and they were very helpful.
The international office had a lot of events, like the International Welcome Party. They had free trips to Europe, for example. What I enjoy most about my course is getting to work with real-life clients.
These kind of professional environment of on filmmaking, it's hard to find out there.
My lecturers actually very supportive. They are not just only tutors, they are even friends.
A lot of the staff on my course have actually worked in the industry, so they spent years working as PR practitioners or as journalists?
They've been so helpful. They've been guiding me through my studies and also giving me a lot of opportunities where I can go and have a hands-on experience in the field itself.
All of our tutors are very comfortable with us, and it's more of, I would say, a collaboration.
There's always someone to help you with your problem. There's always someone.
I like living in Leeds because it's a very student-friendly city. I like going to concerts, shopping at the shopping center, and eating out with my friends.
What I like most about Leeds is the amazing architecture and the culture that you have here that I can't really find in Singapore.
One of my favorite museums is the Royal Armouries and the dock around place, and there's a free water taxi there. So it's always beautiful to take that ride.
There's always something going on every night for anybody's tastes.
I feel like no matter the course or the direction that I choose in my career, I'm going to be prepared.
Okay, some excellent feedback from our international students, and a lot of credit obviously goes to tutors and teachers and lecturers like Duncan himself. Just very last slide, kind of to summarize what I've been saying in the last 10 minutes. The history of the university dates back around 200 years, so we do have an amazing setup and a lot of experience in delivering teaching. We do provide a lot of practical sessions through placement opportunities or through the teaching itself. So no wonder that we got 5 stars in QS ranking for employability. We have graduates from more than 150 countries that we're really proud of. And remember, you would be a part of the community of around 30,000 students that's studying our degrees overseas as well as on campus. So that would be it from me. So this is my email. So as Rosman mentioned before, I work at the international office and looking after Singapore in terms of the student relationship. So feel free to drop me an email if you have any questions. There are some social media links as well you can follow, so you get the latest updates on Leeds Beckett University as well. And that would be it from me. So I would like to pass back to Rosman now.
Okay, thank you so much, Dovydas. It's a great sharing from you so that the participants are aware about Leeds Beckett's niche, you know, and also the tremendous insights from the students that you share the video. I like the video so much, yeah, because it's inspired the other students to actually join our programs in Singapore. Okay, without hold on, Dovydas, we have a question and answer Q&A later on. Okay, so we need you to be there too. Okay, now I hand over the mic to Mr. Duncan Webb. Duncan Webb is the course director for the program for degree in safety as well as master. Okay, Mr. Duncan, the mic's yours.
Okay, thank you. I'm just going to open my screen and share my screen. I'll just enlarge this. Just one moment, please. Everybody see that?
Yeah, it's clear.
Yeah. Right, well, welcome everybody to this virtual open evening, and I'm here to talk a little bit about the MSc in Health and Safety and the BSc Honours in Safety, Health and Environmental Management Awards that are delivered both at Leeds Beckett University and at MDIS. That's myself, and as already mentioned, my name's Duncan Webb, and I'm the course director for all of the Health, Safety and Environmental Management courses at Leeds Beckett University, and that's whether it's undergraduate or postgraduate. A lot of people say to me, well, why go into a profession in health and safety? Why is health and safety so interesting? And I suppose I can ask you some questions and say, well, if you answer yes to some of these, then health and safety is for you, really. So, do you want to make a difference in what you do? In your work life, do you actually want to make a difference? Do you like working with people? Because a large part of it is working with individuals. So, frozen up. I think just one moment. A bit of a lag. Do you want to improve people's lives? Do you want to make their work environment better? Do you want to work in a sector that has excellent career opportunities and salary progression opportunities? It's extremely wide. Where just because you start off in health, you could end up in numerous different environments and on some quite attractive salary packages. Do you want to work in a role that will develop not just you as an individual, but one that also involves lifelong learning? It's not static. It's a very dynamic career. And most important, do you like a challenge? Because if you answer yes to any one of those or all of those, then really health and safety is a career for you. So why study with MDIS and Leeds Beckett University? I know Dovy and Rosman have already touched on some of these points, but I think it's worthwhile going through some of them again. We're a friendly team of practitioners, whether it's at Leeds Beckett or at MDIS. And one of the important things for people is we all have significant real life experience. So that allows us to bring that experience into the teaching medium. I myself worked in high hazardous industries for over 25 years before I went into education. And that's the same with the lecturers at MDIS. We all have a vast wealth of experience that we can bring to the table that relates directly to the real world. As Dovydas mentioned, excellent employment rates and further study. We get very, very good feedback from our students. So we have student forums and also our external examiners and the professional bodies. So we get excellent feedback from those as well. We have workable timetables. Now we understand that people are very busy. So we accommodate a large degree of flexibility in how we deliver our teaching to allow mature students, entering students, and work around what's possible for them. So we're very workable timetables. Excellent on-site facilities. That's both at MDIS and at Leeds Beckett. And as Dovydas mentioned, we're accredited by the Institution of Occupational Safety and Health, who are the biggest professional body in terms of health and safety in the world, with over 53,000 members. And depending on which pathway you're on, whether it's undergraduate or part-time, they offer part-time and full-time courses. Now, but that's dependent on the university and the course. So that information you'll be able to find out from MDIS directly. So what am I going to learn at BSc Honours? What sort of subjects am I going to cover? Now, I believe you do a level 5 and level 6, and MDIS are currently potentially looking at a level 4 entry. But at level 5, there's a number of core modules there: environmental management, organisation and safety management, professional practice. And one of the modules that we'll start to do at level 5 is something called understanding the research process. That is a preemptive module that sets you up for doing your research honours degree in level 6. So if you can see in level 6 there, what we call our year 3, you've got your honours project. We've got something called client-based study. Client-based study is a work-based project where we ask the students to go out and undertake a project within a host organisation. So you're actually getting real project, developing your project skills. And then we've got things like hazardous agents, hazardous industries, and sensible risk management. So that's the core modules that you'll do for your BSc Honours at undergraduate. Now, when we look at the postgraduate, the MSc, we actually push that a little bit further. Some of the core modules have the same terminology, but what you've got to remember the difference between level 6 and level 7 is at level 7, we're testing it against level 7 learning outcomes. So there's a distinct difference in expectation and skill and knowledge level between what we would expect the student to present at level 7 than at level 6. You'll also see in there's a couple of new titles. One's called quantitative risk analysis. Now, quantitative risk analysis, we actually uplift the sensible risk management side of it. So in that particular module, we're looking at, well, how do we undertake risk assessments when we're looking at high hazardous industries? And there's a significant difference in how we approach that type of risk analysis to how we would do, shall we say, the more sensible based risk analyses. You'll also see a module in there called Applied Research Methods. Now, you'll have done, if you're entering or coming from BSc to that, you potentially might have already done some degree of research. In level 7, we tend to focus more on the statistical side of it. So we're actually introducing students to the statistical analysis and running evaluations on data sets and getting them to test significance. So the applied research methods is, again, it's a level 7 module. It encompasses a lot higher level of understanding around research theory and analysis. And that applied research then leads into your research practice and development, which is your dissertation element of your MSc. Similar setup to level 6, but it's the outcomes higher. Now, we understand, you know, at Leeds, Beckett and MDS, people are different, and different people absorb information differently. So rather than it being very, very, shall we say, sat behind a desk and it's just all assignments, we employ a number of different mechanisms for teaching and learning. So that might include face-to-face lectures, online tutorials, lab practicals, an element of independent study, work-based projects. We have the virtual learning environment, and obviously MDIS have their derivative of that. Online discussions, online lectures, and we utilise site visits as well. And then there's your research projects themselves. So you'll be exposed to a variety of different learning environments. So it's not just all sat behind a desk. There's quite a variety in there. Breaking news, everyone. Not everybody likes exams. For some strange reason, not everybody likes exams. So again, when we're looking at our assessment formats, we understand that, and we try to incorporate a lot of different approaches when we're looking at our assessment, because some people excel in exams, some people excel in different mediums. So yes, we've got assignments in there for both programs, BSc and MSc. We've got reports as an assignment type, including lab reports. Unfortunately, there are some exams in there, but you know, we do support students in these exam processes. We do undertake revision sessions, so students are well prepared for those examinations. Essays, instead of reports, we might ask students to submit in an essay format. Portfolios of data, such as sensible risk management. In sensible risk management, you'll be asked to undertake 4 different types of risk assessment and develop a portfolio around that. In quantitative risk analysis, you'll be given actually a real life scenario, and you'll be asked to undertake different types of risk analysis, such as fault tree analysis, around a particular type of scenario. Then we've got presentations, and obviously quizzes. We run online quizzes. So within that, you know, it's not all about exams. It's not all about assignments. There's a variety of different assessment formats that hopefully cater to the different needs of different individuals. I've put in this slide an example timetable. Obviously, MDIS have a different delivery timetable than what Leeds Beckett do, albeit we are moving to a three semester timetable this year. But that's an example, and I think it's still current, of what you're going to be covering in term 1, 2, 3, and 4 at MDIS. And we do the same for the BSc students as well. You'll be given individual timetables. Where might I end up working? That's a really good question, because health and safety is enormous. It covers many different sectors. Well, it covers virtually every sector. There's nothing that we do as a society or a generation that doesn't involve health and safety somewhere. And where we might see that, oh, well, yes, I can see that, construction, manufacturing, petrochemical, we're committed to improving the health and safety across numerous sectors. And it's a global market. So, you know, you've got to think outside of the box. And I'm just going to put some areas now that I know our students have gone on to work in. So construction, yes, fairly straightforward. Petrochemical, manufacturing, events management. That has a massive impact, and I'll show you some slides from a student where that has had quite a significant input into what they do. Energy manufacturing, nuclear, quarries and mining, transport and logistics, entertainment. Well, again, I've got a slide in here that explains, well, where does it come into entertainment? Offshore, regulation. What I mean by regulation is, yes, you might start out as a practitioner, but you might actually want to go into work into the regulatory side. We have people who go on to work in local authority regulation or into health and safety executive. So just because you start out somewhere doesn't mean that's where you're going to end up. Publishing. Health and social care, and I've highlighted that in red, and I'm really glad Dovy brought it into that presentation, because health and safety practitioners have had a significant role to play in this current environment that the world is faced with. Explosives, we've got waste, agriculture, and believe it or not, we've got education. Because I myself started out as I didn't work as a practitioner, I worked as an engineer. But I moved into higher education, took my degrees, took my second degree, and I'm now working in education, delivering and teaching about health and safety. So it's a massive area that people end up working in. Dovy's already mentioned the coronavirus pandemic, and it's important to note that health and safety practitioners have played an important part in that. I've had students who were working in companies, keeping those companies going, such as hospitals, such as schools, such as essential workers. So they've played a vital role in protecting people and protecting organisations. So the next challenge in health and safety. Now, I've put a little bit of a graph up for this, and I hope you can see that. Now, that's fatality rates in the UK, and that's from 1981 through to current 2019, and we can see there that if we're looking at fatal rates, and this is just an example, we've started to come down, and from about 2013-14, but that started to be flat. Now that decline, we can offset that against, well, okay, we've got better in regulation, we've got better in our work environments. We've got better technically, so we understand the risks better. But why is it broadly flat now? And there's a significant thing that needs to change, because at the moment everything's sort of ticking along nicely. But we need to improve, and the thing that needs to change is, of course, people. And one of the things we look at in our BSc and our MSc is our role is to create the next generation of world-leading health and safety practitioners, because it's only by teaching those people how to understand how people behave and why they make the decisions they make that we can move forward. So one of the things that we want our people to go out of the university with is we need them to become change agents. Because we've done all the regulation, we've done all the technology, yes, and that will improve and still improve, but by far the next biggest thing to tackle is people and getting them to change their behaviours. So as a health and safety practitioner, that'll be a very important skill that you'll develop. You've effectively got to go into an organisation and convince that organisation to change. So one of the things that we teach you is how to do that. And I'm just going to finish off with 3 slides, and these are student tales. So these are our actual students. And as I say, when we talked about where you're going to end up, it can be quite interesting. Student called Ben joined Leeds Beckett University a few years ago, and he worked really hard on his course, did Ben, and he came out with a first-class honours degree. So it was really happy. And then he left Leeds Beckett, and then he went to work for a small company. And you may have heard of them. It was actually called Pinewood Studios. So Ben went to work in Pinewood Studios as a health and safety manager, health and safety advisor coordinator. He frequently comes back to Leeds Beckett University, does Ben, and we always ask him to come in and talk to our students as part of an induction. because it explains to them part of his duties and what he does. And there's always a bit of a nice smile on the students' faces when he explains that part of his job, he actually supervises visits for people around Pinewood Studios. And part of that involves working on the sets for Star Wars. So it would often show people round the. I mean, when he came up and did his induction, he really said, "Well, only yesterday I was actually showing a group of contractors around the Millennium Falcon." So it just shows you the breadth of environment that people end up working in. Now, Ben worked for Pinewood Studios for a number of years, and he subsequently left and he moved back up to Yorkshire. Did Ben? And he works now for a leading television company as a health and safety manager. And part of his role in that is not only responsible for the safety of the television studios, but he also has a number of high-profile celebrities that he's responsible for. So when they come to do filming, he's their go-to person for their health and safety. So it just shows you the diversity of where health and safety is. Ian, he completed his master's degree in 2019, and he was working for Leeds City Council at the time as a health and safety manager. And one of the things that Ian always sort of taught to students about is it's not just a desk-based job. It's a very dynamic job, and you're going to be involved in lots of different environments and lots of different programs. Some of the things that Ian has gone on to do and been involved in working as a health and safety manager for the local authority, we've got the triathlon that we hold in Leeds. So all these, again, it's events management. We have to make sure that people are safe. So Ian had a key role in looking after the health and safety of that event. We've got the things like the carnivals that go on in cities. Again, all those have to be managed safely. So part of Ian's remit is to look after that sort of environment. And then we've also got the large festivals, and this is where the events management comes in. So again, there's a big influence and a big input from the managers who work in health and safety in the authority into these type of events. It's not just a desk-based job. It's very dynamic. And this is probably the penultimate slide. And this is, do students enjoy the experience? Because we want you to enjoy the experience of learning at LBU or MDIS. Now, this is just a slide or an email that I got back in 2019 from a young man called Adam. Adam was very shy when he started with us, and over the 2 years that he was with us, 3 years, sorry, that he was with us, he actually developed as an individual, because that again is part of what we have to do. We have to develop you. So you may feel nervous, you may feel, I don't like doing presentation, but it's our job to sort of build that confidence in you, because you're going to go out there and make a difference. Now, one of the things that I'd just like to point out on this one is once Adam had finished, he actually went and secured a job in Malaysia as working for a car company. So it's quite a high profile job. But the thing that I like about Adam's statement is this last sentence. The best 3 years of my life. That's how much he enjoyed it. And I've now got an open book invitation. So if I ever go to Malaysia, I've got to go look him up. So, our students do enjoy it. They do get value from it. And by them achieving the best that they can be, that fulfills what we want. So that's it from me. Thank you very much. And we hope to see you soon. So if you have any questions, I'll now hand back to Rosman.
Okay, thank you very much, Duncan. It's a well comprehensive explanation on our degree and master's program. I like the mixture of the assessment mode. There's a mix of assessment mode, examination, assessment, presentation, as well as, you know, the comprehensive modules, you know, from all the facets of safety and health modules, and the delivery modes, and I'm quite, you know, surprised with all the, you know, profession that the students, after they graduate, they have different type of professions, not only desk bound job, but actually field job in at site. So it actually enhances the competency of the students after they graduate. You know, they apply the knowledge they learn. That's the key, the application of knowledge to what they have learned in the university, that we actually guide them, you know. Okay, now I'm open to the question and answer session. It's about 10 minutes. So is there anyone with questions that you, there's burning questions that you want to ask Duncan as well as Dovydas on our safety and health programs? Anybody? You can also use the chat and type. If you are shy, you can use the chat to type your question. Yeah. Anybody? Maybe I kickstart one question to Dovydas. What is you know, how's the outreach in LBU in terms of the international market, and what is, you know, the what interests them to join, you know, our degree program and master's program? In other words, what is the unique selling portion that we can, you know, see to the students?
Okay, thank you for the question. I think we covered quite a few selling points, and I think that the major one is what Duncan was mentioning, that there is really a big scope. Once you graduate from that course, you can end up in a variety of different fields, you know, so you might be interested in different fields, and that course basically allows you to go into that. In terms of what international office can support and why students chooses Leeds Beckett, because we're a really large community, and it's one of the most popular universities actually in the UK. We do deliver LBU programs overseas as well, like in Singapore and Hong Kong and Malaysia previously. So there is a really large community that students can be part of, and one of my jobs is kind of to keep those students together. So once you're studying our degree, I'm happy to put you in touch with our current students based in Leeds, for example. They are from Singapore, so we can share, you know, and experiences and become friends for life potentially. When I be able to travel, actually, hopefully I'll be visiting Singapore. We can arrange an event where you would be able to meet other alumni from Singapore who are back now in your own country. So this kind of my role as well, to keep everyone together, and students really appreciate that sense of community, and they make friends for life. So I think that is really important. I was international student myself, so I'm in Leeds actually, so I have friends now from all over the world, and that's one of the university's strengths. Like I mentioned in my presentation, that we have graduates from 150 countries maybe, or even more, so that's really amazing. So I think just to answer your question short, that would be it.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, I'm open to the participants. Any burning questions you want to ask? Okay, Duncan, you mentioned about, I want to know the type of students that comes to LBU. What's the range of international students that you have? What's the cohort size and so forth? Yeah.
We get quite a mix of students, and one of the interesting things about our course is we have a mix of mature students in with students that are coming and just starting in health and safety. So, and it's always nice to see that, because when we're doing workshops or anything like that, we can mix those groups together. So there's a lot of shared experience. In terms of numbers and what we're looking at, we actually run two different starts. So we run a September start, and we also run a January start. So we have two different intakes. So we take students in September, and we also take students in January as well. And that's for both the BSc and the MSc courses. In terms of international students, it was particularly interesting this January, that we had about 18 international students come onto the master's course just in January, and a significant proportion of those were from India, Qatar, and things like that. So the course is very well recognised internationally. When I asked the question to the student, well, how did you find it? Well, we typed in health and safety, and this is the course that jumped out of us. So we have a very good international mix in terms of students, and that's also on the undergraduate courses as well. So on an average, probably MSc, when we're looking at as domestic and international students, probably in the region of about 20 plus. Undergraduates, again, we mix and join our classes from environmental health and health and safety. So level 4 would probably have about 25 to 30, and similar sort of figures for level 5 and level 6.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Some of the international students, they can have difficulty in their English and so forth. In Singapore, we do cater for that. We actually have workshops on academic writings and as well as grammar workshop skills, to actually enhance their English and their, academic writing skills. So we actually help the students in many ways, Yeah, one more question can I ask you, Duncan? You mentioned about the profession, right? Because what I see, a safety professional not only work as a safety manager, managing a work site, because they can actually become other alternatives such as auditor. They can do audits, as well as what you mentioned just now, teaching and training, imparting knowledge to other people. So what's your take on that? The multifaceted of, ways or path of getting jobs, it's not only safety manager, but safety auditor and so forth.
No, yeah. Once you've one of the things that we have to do with our students is we have to develop them as individuals, because we need them to go out there and make a change. And yes, and part of that is getting them to understand is they'll be talking to different audiences in terms of what they do. So they may be down on the workshop floor talking to people 1 minute. They may be then stood in front of a group of board of directors, actually trying to convince them to undertake a different initiative. So we have to develop in our individuals, in our students, the ability to construct and deliver material to suit a particular audience. So that's one of it. But yes, our students go on and work in various occupations and yet one of the different things that we do with our level 7 students is we talk about culture change. So we say, well, we need to change the culture of an organisation, and that's a fairly easy statement to make. It's not easy to do. So one of the things that we start to look at when we're looking at level 7s is, well, how do you actually do that? So we might inform, well, these are the tools that you can use at level 6, but in level 7, then we might explain a little bit more about how to apply those tools. So, and that might include auditing. It might include developing systems for continuous improvement. So there's a lot more goes into sort of making them a change agent than understanding just, well, this regulation says this. It's not just all about that. It's influencing people and making a change, making a difference.
Okay, good. Thank you for your sharing. Okay, I want the audience to ask question. Any questions from the participants joining our virtual festival? Any questions? Any burning questions? Richie, you want to ask any questions? No. Okay.
It's okay. We understand. We understand.
Okay, I think there's no questions from the floor.
No,
yeah, we already have some questions that are already asked. I hope the participants are are well informed about our courses and about the LBU. Dovydas, you've done a good job in introducing the LBU setting. Duncan, you also done a good job in introducing the both programs and what's in store for the student, not only during the course, but after, what is in for them as a profession, as a safety manager. Because safety manager, safety auditor, safety director, these are the positions that, you know, with well-paying jobs. You know, in Singapore, an average of safety officer can earn about $5,000 to $6,000 a month. So that is a, you know, a unique selling point, a catch point. And our program in Singapore is recognized by Ministry of Manpower. So they, after the degree program, they can get a license, a WSH, Workplace Safety and Health Officer license, and straight away, you know, after they gone through the interview by the MOM and get the license, they can get a well-paid job. And not only in the local market, I always tell my students, you can go international, you know, Dubai, Qatar, you name it, Jakarta, China, India, there are many, because our degree, our master's and degree program is catered to all industry, as what Duncan has mentioned, all oil and gas, construction, shipyard, all of these industries requires a safety professional. Yeah.
Just one thing to mention here as well,
Yeah.
Rosman, is we get a lot of people coming onto our courses who actually want a change of career. So, you know, they don't have to have worked in health and safety, but they potentially want a change of career. I mean, we've got in our level 7 cohort January starters on our MSc, we've got people who have worked in health. So I know now I've got there's 5 nurses in that cohort.
Oh, nurses. Okay.
that are actually wanting to stay within that profession, but actually to develop the health and safety side in the hospitals in their own countries. So they're wanting to get that higher level qualification, so then they can take that back to their own countries and actually develop their own sectors. So, you know, we get people from all sorts of industries and all sorts of occupations coming in. Some wanting to get, you know, just to improve their qualifications and get higher up the corporate ladder, but some wanting a complete change of career. So it's an excellent program.
Yeah, I agree with you totally, you know, because last time in my work experience, I went into hospitals and I can see hospital is number 1 in terms of the hazards, you know. You name it, they have all the hazards, biological hazards, chemical hazards, radiation hazards, you name it. In all the more, all these nurses and doctors, or even, you know, safety professional working in that industry needs to equip with the knowledge, you know, the safety and health knowledge to maintain a safe environment in this industry, hospital, medical industry, especially during the COVID. Yeah. So I think this is a good opportunity, you know, for these people to understand safety better, you know, especially as what Dovydas had mentioned about the pandemic, and we need, you know, to equip people with the safety knowledge all the more. Yeah. Okay, any more questions from the floor before we wrap up? Okay, so any question? Okay, there's no question. I will show you my last slide. I share with you a last slide. My last slide is about the contact salesperson in MDIS. You can reach Sinosa at sinosa_kante@mdis.edu.sg. That's her phone number, 912-05570 for Sinosa. This is for the local market, Singapore, and as well as Ruben. His mobile number is 8289-2556. His email ID is ruben_desilva@mdis.edu.sg. For the international market, we have Mohit is in charge. So for those of you who wants to inquire further about our master's and degree program, you can get in touch with Mohit. His email ID is mohit_campbell@mdis.edu.sg. His WhatsApp number will be 871-871-37364. Yeah, and WeChat ID @gmdis. Yeah, so these are the, you know, the key person. I can say the key person. Okay, in terms of the sales numbers as well as students getting in contact with them to know about more about the program. Of course, you can contact me, Duncan, Dovydas. We can also explain further to enhance your understanding of this program, this course. Okay. Lastly, the next item up next is Liza Razali. She's going to tell you about how to build your resume in our next program in visual.
Mr. Roseman.
Yes.
I'm sorry to disturb, but I come here to share some important information for our applicants today.
Okay.
If the students are applying, because we're ending our event very soon, so if they are applying, they can enjoy the rebate here. We have 3,000 rebate for international students joining us part-time, and local students can enjoy 3,500. So we'll be deducting these rebates from their course fees. It will be so much better and so much cheaper course fees for them to sign up this program during their study. But they have to apply. All applicants will have to apply before this virtual fair is ended. We'll be ending it soon at 8 p.m. So all the applicants, I'd like to tell you, if you're considering planning to join September intake, please sign up before the event is finished. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Richie. Okay, there's a good opportunity. Come on, guys. There's a rebate for you, and it's only available during this festival, virtual festival. So grab it. It's a large sum of money, so that you can minus off your course fee. Go for it. Enroll and register yourself. Thank you, Richie, for your sharing session on the rebates. Yeah. Okay, what's next is Miss Liza Razali. She's a talent consultant, HR manager. She's going to tell you how to beautify your resume. Yeah, beautify your resume. It will be at 6 p.m. right after this virtual. Right after our program, Liza Razali will actually explain to you how to build a good resume to enhance your opportunities of getting a job. Yeah. So, okay, thank you so much, Mr. Duncan and Mr. Dovydas. Thank you for having you here to present. Your time is very precious, and really appreciate your kind understanding and your help in making this virtual show an enriched one. Yeah. Okay, thank you, everybody. Hope you'll be on the next show. Thank you so much. Okay, bye bye, Mr. Duncan and Dovydas. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
See you again. Bye bye.